Actually, I'm a boy.
So this is the Witch Hunter. I've got one. I got two versions. You can either use the Recurve Bow or the crossbow, and I'll explain why I like both of those differently in a sec. We're going to be going Huntsman for only perk. A 1-2 armor setup is about all we can afford. You want to get at least one helmet because you will be doing some combat and you don't get popped in the face. In much body armor as you can afford. Skipping leg day. Recurve bow or crossbow. Arming sword is your primary melee weapon. Arming sword's OP. And bear trap. And yeah, and you can and there you go. That's the build. Alright guys, so this is the Witch Hunter. This is my preferred archer build of choice. And I'm going to quickly explain. This is a little different than most archer builds.
I'm kind of retarded.
And that'll happen a lot. So most archer builds, you just put it in the back line and you just, try to get some picks, do whatnot. I'm not a great archer in this game. Was an amazing archer in chivalry, not the best, but I could make a pretty good impact. Not so much in this game. However, pretty good in combat. So the whole idea behind this build is that you're a backline unit and you want to bait people into diving you. Because you have the arming sword, which is a great sword, I'll talk about it later, and you have the bear trap and stuff. So you're still helping out the team with your archery. It's not the best archery build, but you're still helping, and then you want to try to goad people into diving you, and they're gonna hit your bear trap, and they're gonna underestimate you. People get so cocky when they're diving an archer, it's ridiculous. So even though you're gonna be at a disadvantage, you'll be pretty surprised once you get some good practice in with the arming sword. How good you can do in regular combat. Anyways, so that's the whole idea behind the build. You're just a backline archer, but you're a backline archer and you set up in a way that when you get dived, and sometimes you want to do it in a place where you can be dived, they're gonna kill the people, or at the very least take up a lot of manpower when people dive you. Alright, so we don't have the points to use the longbow, so we're gonna be using the recurve bow, but you can also use the crossbow. To talk quickly about the difference between the two, I mainly prefer the recurve bow. If you remember in chivalry, sorry I keep talking about chivalry. Chivalry is not dead. It's just a voice line of the game. It's great at putting a lot of consistent damage on the enemy team, so you're not going to be getting a huge amount of kills, but you can, keep hurting people, keep helping people out in fights. It's very useful. And my aim's not the greatest, so I usually just go for a lot. Well, I still go for headshots, but I just like the recurve bow. For in general. However, you can also use the crossbow. The crossbow is good at a few different things than the recurve bow. The recurve bow, I think, is better at putting out just raw damage. The crossbow is better at getting kills, so if you really do want to get kills, you can use crossbow. The crossbow is also, I think, my much preferred option for dueling other archers. The one perk we're going to be taking is the Huntsman perk, and if you watch my balance video, this is my least favorite perk in the game. I don't I don't think it's bad. I just don't like how it's implemented, and it basically means that any ranged attack you do will do more damage towards people with quivers, so anyone with a bow or crossbow. And we're going to be taking Huntsman just because it's too good to patch up when you're using archery. You can hit a 92 on, I think, 1 armor chests, which is pretty good, and then, the crossbow will one-shot. So I would use the crossbow if you're... The biggest counter to this build is not people like infantry diving you, it's actually just other archers who are focusing you on non-stop, because they'll one-shot you if they have a longbow. It's very annoying, but it's just what you have to deal with. So I use the recurve bow. If I'm dealing with too many archers, though, sometimes I'll switch to the crossbow. And it is a little bit of personal preference. It's up to you. But anyways, so that's the whole idea behind the build. Use one of those bows. Set up in these places where people are going to... As soon as they dive your position and your front line fails, they're going to probably come towards you. Put a bear trap down. Let's talk quickly about the arming sword. Another thing I talked in my balance video is probably if I had to pick a weapon that's OP, it would be the arming sword. Not because it's super strong, but just because it's so cost effective for 2 points. I feel like it could easily be 3 or 4 points. And I can go up against full builds with this half build all the time. You'll see some clips of me, like 1v2ing and stuff. It's just a very good weapon. It's got great thrusts, and it's got still very good swings. It's not one of those thrusting weapons that loses the value of the swings for the thrust. I'll still use thrust quite a lot because I'm often getting dived in these tight places, but the swings are really good. Sometimes you just swings throw people off. They're so good. So yeah, arming sword is absolutely in my opinion, is absolutely the best weapon for 2 points, and it's pretty, and is like, you know, it's one of the best weapons for the 3 and 4 point category as well. It's not quite as good as some of the 4 point weapons. Rapier is better as thrust weapon. I really like the bastard sword as an all-rounder. A lot of my builds now are using the bastard sword, but it's just very good. So if you haven't tried the army sword out, try it out. And you can always throw it. If someone dives, you can always, and you kill them, you can always throw your army sword away, pick up their weapon. It's not a bad idea. Now we'll talk quickly about the bear traps. Good and bad things about the bear traps. Good things is apparently they're hard to see. I not to be like, oh, but I have to do that to him. There's a pole down there. He doesn't die. He just stands on the pole, so it's fine. I know it's a terrible thing to do, but I didn't kill him. It was just too funny. Anyways, the bear trap is apparently hard to see because people step in it all the time. Although I don't think it's that hard. And if they're not wearing leg armor, it will one-shot them, which is super useful. And if you do any kind of damage to them, it'll still one-shot them. That poor dude. But see, that's exactly, like, I'm setting up here. There's more people that came up, I just didn't include them in the clips. When you put a bear trap down, you have a total advantage when they dive you. Or at least at the very least, you're very much evening the odds. And they're just wasting people trying to kill an archer. So it's very useful. So the bear traps are very good utility. You put it down kind of around a corner or at the top of stairs or in a doorway. People almost never check in doorways. And it really is a great way of getting that first pick, especially when multiple people are chasing you. You get that first pick, and then you're fighting a 1v1 or a 1v2 most of the time. So super useful. The one thing you have to worry about, and this is why I included that clip at the beginning, or the second clip at the beginning, is that your teammates, for the love of God, will step in your bear trap every chance they get. More enemies step to my bear traps than friendlies, but only just, and only because I was super careful at where I put my bear traps. But even then, it's like a fucking moth to a light. Like like it's just gonna happen a lot. So you know, apologize. Try to, like, sometimes they'll even body block friendlies when I know they're gonna step in the bear trap. Sometimes it doesn't even work. But yeah, that's the one thing you have to watch out for. So I wouldn't don't try to play in super high traffic areas. Like if you're, like, you kind of have to, you know, judge it just based on how the match is going. But if it's a place where a lot of your friendlies are respawning and running through, try not to put a bear trap there if you can avoid it. Just because even though an enemy might run through there, an ally's gonna set it off first. People just don't pay attention. But yeah, so that's pretty much the build. Sit in the back line somewhere, even off to the side. Put your bear trap down. I'm very happy that guy didn't. My friendly didn't set it off, but that guy got over it. They're a little weird sometimes, the bear traps. I haven't tested them too much, but this is my favorite point to build. I think the longbow's a better bow even for the points, but I'm not an amazing archer, as you can. I mean, these are highlights. So I'm not always top of my game. Even some of these highlights aren't the best. But I'm a very good melee combatant. And it's usually there's only 1 or 2 people on the enemy team that can consistently 1v1 me on a frontline game. In a dual server, you know, like, people are pretty good on dual server, so so it's still a little harder. But people get, not only that, but people get so cocky. It's so easy just to dispatch. You just throw a thrust out. Next when you faint, you headshot them again, and they're like totally off their guard because they're almost dead, and you just beat them up. It's so easy. You can see there, like, arming swords are really good. So yeah, that's the build. Sit in the back line, push your bear trap down, help your team out, wait till someone dives you, and then kill the people diving you. Yeah. The reason why I'm using a thrust here instead of swings is because I don't want the first person to block them. But I don't know. Anyways, so that's the build. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Great archer build. If you're not the best at archery like I am, absolutely try it out. You can shift it around a little. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm trying really hard to get my channel monetized. I get some hundreds to thousands of views on my videos, but I only have like 60, 70 subscribers, and I need 1,000. So if you guys want to subscribe, you don't have to, but if you want to help the brother, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, good luck. Try out the build. Let me know what you think.